Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal, the International. We begin with our top stories. Growing concerns over crumbling state of road infrastructure, the Inter-Urban Transport Union has issued a stern warning threatening to strike if immediate action is not taken by the government. The met in Douala on June 12, 2024, that is today, and a heavy armed gang that boggles the Mutual Finance Development at Comitech in the Central Region 3 weeks ago has been cracked down by the Central Regional Judicial Police. The supposed men of the underworld
to the Comitech police station, storming this mutual financial development on the night of 15 to 16 of May, carrying away the sum of over
friends either at home or in neighborhoods. However, this period of fulfillment can also turn into tragedy.
Secure the children during the holidays by keeping them indoors and occupy them with
Good evening once more and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal de International. Amidst our growing concerns over the crumbling state of road infrastructure, the Inter-Urban Transport Union has issued a stern warning threatening to strike if immediate action is not taken by the government. The met in Douala on June 12 of 2024. More with our reporter, Saleh Sherifa.
The palpable frustration among union members was evident as they voiced their grievances regarding the hazardous state of roads leading to the West region. They underscored the severity of the situation and the dire need for intervention. We can't keep paying toll gate fees with no results. Every time they tell us there are no funds to remedy our situation. Our greatest worry is the bad state of roads. Assembled members of the urban transport sector have called upon the government to address their grievances, emphasizing the toll this negligence is taking on both their livelihoods and public safety.
We cannot fight with the government. We are still planning to use peaceful method to meet the government. Continue to wake them from slumber. That the government have been sleeping a lot, especially concerning road network, because if you move all around Cameroon is having no roads.
As the Inter-Urban Transport Union takes a decisive stand against the neglect of road infrastructure, all eyes are on the government to heed their plea for assistance. The looming threat of a strike serves as a stark reminder for the profound impact of inadequate infrastructure on both livelihoods and public safety. With the stakes higher than ever, the demand for immediate governmental action is clear.
And our cities grapple with the deterioration of their road networks. A potential solution has emerged of the use of paving blocks instead of traditional bitumen. Experts suggest that this resilient alternative could help address the ongoing challenges faced by urban roads. Gladys Ambodibang has been talking with some experts in Douala. Her story.
In the city of Douala, the landscape of roads is undergoing a transformation. Bitumen, the conventional material used for paving, is gradually being replaced by paving blocks. According to technical experts, this shift is driven by the superior resistant qualities of concrete blocks, which allow for the rapid drainage of water. Paving blocks are known for their resistance and durability. One notable advantage is their design, which includes joints that allow water infiltration. This feature supports the use of road tanks, which are utilized in Douala, particularly in Bonakwangwa and near Sal Defect Aqua. However, this sustainable solution universally adopted. The deterioration of bituminous roads in urban areas has long been a pressing issue, with the seasonal cycles of heavy rains and wear and tear taking a toll on the infrastructure. Traditional bitumen surfaces have proven vulnerable to the elements, leading to the formation of potholes and other structural issues. However, the transition to paving blocks is not without its challenges. The installation quality of paving blocks is crucial. Poor installation can lead to discomfort for those using the surface. A significant risk is that if one block becomes dislodged, it can compromise the entire route or space. Proper installation, including securing the rim within the concrete block, is essential to maintain integrity. As cities continue to grapple with the persistent problem of road deterioration, the use of paving blocks seems to be gaining traction as a potential solution. However, experts emphasize the need for thorough evaluation and proper implementation to ensure the long-term sustainability and effectiveness of this alternative approach.
A heavy arms gang that boggles the mutual finance developments at the Colmitech in the central region of Cameroon 3 weeks ago has been cracked down by the Central Regional Judicial Police. The supposed men of the underworld made away with 6 million francs CFA, but their run was short-lived. Taken to the scene this day, the culprits demonstrated how they carried out the cruel act. More with our reporter, Hyson Chia.
The 6 members of the gang summoned the courage to rob the nearest building to the Colmitech police station, storming this mutual financial development on the night of 15 to 16 of May, carrying away the sum of over 4 million CFA francs liquid cash and 2 telephones of mobile money operations with a content of about 1.6 million, armed with weapons like nail pullers, hammers, machetes, a crowbar and chisel. This is how they broke in to carry out their operation from one facet of the financial institution to another. They will later take refuge in different places like Obala, Yoko, Balmayo and Zoetele, all in the Central Region. But the Central Regional Division of the Judicial Police later cracked them down, one after another, from their hideouts.
I would like to say this opportunity to address once again criminals such as robbers, kidnappers, rapists, sellers and dealers of hard drugs, and other non-criminals to stop their all criminal activities by opting to join the good side of the history of our nation. We will continue to hunt them down, to stop them from causing harm to people when and wherever they take refuge after they have committed their crime.
A relief moment for the authorities and population of the Colmitech subdivision, Nyong-Eso division, who came out this June 12 to watch the remake of the scene.
It was a very traumatized moment for the population. We had not witnessed such acts of criminality here. The population were in shock and fear and reacted differently. But we are glad that in few days the forces of law and order were able to crack down the culprits.
This under the watchful eyes of the Nyong-Eso State Council. As the culprit, all ex-convicts are referred to the legal department.
And in a decisive measure to uphold traditional customs, the chief of Balengu in the west region of Cameroon has announced a ban on funerals immediately following burials. The new regulation, effective from May 1, aims to reconnect the community with the ancestral roots, but has sparked a heated debate among residents. Gladys Ambodiba has the rest of that story.
From August 1, 2024, the people of Balengu in the west region of Cameroon will stop organizing funerals immediately after the burial of their loved ones. The decision contains in a release signed June 6, 2024 by the chief of Balengu, His Majesty Ngemenyi Happy Elvis Gay has garnered mixed reactions. It depends on the means of the bereaved family. With money, they can immediately conduct the funeral after the burial. There were many stages of the traditional rites that were not respected, as the funerals were conducted immediately after burial. There was a lot of business when it came to performing these traditional rites. The ban comes after the Council of Notables of Balingo met on May 3 in response to growing trends that organizing funerals immediately after burial undermines the cultural fabric of the community. The organization of funerals immediately after burial is against our customs. If we want to remain faithful to our tradition, we must respect the process. After burial, we wait for just 20 days to organize the funeral. The initiative aims to reconnect the people of Balingo with their ancestral roots and reinforce their attachment to their village. This will impact those who have always wanted to play with time, claiming they do not have a compound to welcome guests, and those who do not regularly visit the village. This is a courageous decision to encourage everyone to return to tradition. As the implementation date draws near, the community prepares for the changes that the new decision will bring.
Laws in Cameroon, like in many other countries, face various challenges in effectively protecting children against child labor. Among the factors contributing to the increasing phenomenon is weak enforcement. Even if laws exist, they might not be enforced effectively due to lack of resources, corruption, and or inefficiency within the legal and administrative system. We caught up with Remind Amugu Obari Sadlo, who talks about the laws and to what extent it protects children against child labor.
The domestic laws, we have the Labor Code, Section 86 forbids categorically the employment of a child below 14, not even as an apprentice. We also have law number 2016/007 of 12 July 2016 relating to the Penal Code, which has enshrined laws and their punishments as from beginning from its section 337 right up to section 356. Despite all these laws put in place, we will still discover, we will still acknowledge, we can still admit that child labor today is a growing phenomenon. And in my own opinion, the main reason for child labor is poverty. The main reason for the continuous practice of child labor is poverty. There are so many children who cannot eat 2 square meals. We can see children on the streets as young as 8, 10, hawking, doing odd jobs while others are in school, trying to fend for themselves. Some children are even responsible for their household, for the upkeep of the household. Some children go out to work to take care of their sick mothers, to take care of their parents, to take care of the younger ones. You see a child of like maybe 10 years old having like 4 younger siblings. That child is focused. That child has a different mentality. The child is no more seen as a child.
And from the nooks and crannies of Douala, residents are flogging the campsites to register on electoral rules. The surge doesn't surprise political observers. It's now a new trend in Cameroon. Today in Bali, Douala 1, the scene is not different. Our reporter, Kizi Kiga, reports.
The buzz centers around a new trend, obtaining a voter ID card in Cameroon. Today, dozens of citizens rush to register or re-register. At the Parc de Prince in Bali, Douala, people gather for registration this Wednesday morning. Many take the opportunity to voice their concerns and ensure that their voices count.
And a councillor of the urban council here, Bonanjo, the urban council, I'm a grand conseiller there, so it's the post I'm having that prompts me to come here because I have population behind me.
J'ai appris que si tu n'as pas de carte, on va t'arrêter. La police va t'arrêter.
I have understand the importance to vote.
Around 100 people today joined a campaign titled "My Voter ID is My Citizen Visa," valid for boarding the 2025 presidential flight. Many are encouraged to vote this year rather than sitting back and complaining later.
It's a right of a citizen to vote because they have been arguing about the results. Now, before they argue, they should learn it that you can't argue about the result when you have not even registered and you have not voted. It is after your voting that you need to talk, because if you stay in your homes, you don't vote. I believe the Cameroonians have knowledge already that instead of them stay in the house and keep on quarreling, arguing, criticizing the results, they need to go in for registration.
And it's necessary for all of us to participate.
No one wants to miss the 2025 presidential flight.
And the LECAM office in Jimum, a town approximately 20 kilometers from Fumban in the west region of Cameroon, has been reopened following a period of conflicts. The resumption of the voter registration activities is now under a new leadership. More in the following story.
The Lekam office in Jimum, located about 20 kilometers from the city of Fumban, is back in operation after a brief closure. The shutdown, which occurred on May 19, was necessitated by a conflict that requires the intervention of the divisional officer.
Ont eu des difficultés et il y a eu une altercation entre ces autorités par rapport aux inscriptions électorales.
The intervention led to the office being sealed due to issues related to voter registration malfunctions.
Militants d'autres partis ont trouvé que, semblerait-il, ça doit peut-être être une fraude électorale. Donc, ils se sont donc mis à pourchasser les éléments de l'ECAM.
Following these periods of turmoil, the registration of voters has resumed at the Jimum Elekam office. A new head of office has been installed to oversee the activities and ensure a smooth operation. However, the ceremony of the installation of the new head was conducted without media coverage, as authorities prohibited filming of the event.
Une altercation entre les autorités ou entre les militants et autres pouvait pouvoir créer un incident malheureux.
Puamong Ibrahim, a representative of civil society, noted that the measures taken were aimed at restoring calm and order within the Jimum Elekam office. The reinstatement of the office operations is seen as a positive step towards ensuring the proper functioning of the electoral process in the area.
And that's how we saw it on this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is the brief with Leo Piejou. As for me, take another rendezvous, same time tomorrow. Good night.